and welcome to everybody to the last of our lock-in series for this series. So we stop today, it'll be a last one, and then we pick it back up in the end of September with a new 10 series of our partners and our manufacturers, promoting and showing you how to get the best out of the products and how to use them. So welcome everybody on, and tonight we have Cam and Edward. Edward, you don't like to be called Edward, you like to be called Ed, don't you?
Yeah, just Ed. That's my Sunday name.
Yeah, Sunday name when you go to church. I totally understand that. And the two, I'm looking out my window at the moment, I've got hailstones the size of bricks coming down. Tonight we're going to be talking about Clubhouse, and I hear a lot of people talk about Clubhouse. There seems to be really two kind of camps: camp for it and camp against it. And there's a lot of criticism about the Clubhouse, and I don't know, I'm not experienced enough to really talk about Clubhouse. I've been on it a couple of times. Ed, you invited me on it. I went on and talked about it. And then again, we met through Clubhouse, me and you, because it's it's like about networking. But I see a lot of people talking about that, excuse my French, but oh, it's crap. It's all about selling. It's about hyped up people running around talking about how good they are. And I haven't had that experience. So I don't know. So I thought I'd get the two people, Cam and Ed, to talk about Clubhouse. So I'm going to ask you loads of questions. Cam, has it been beneficial? Why did you join Clubhouse?
Yeah, it's a great question, Nick. The thing is, you know, if you're like me, you're kind of traditional. You do things a traditional way. But fortunately or unfortunately, you got to move with the times, haven't you? As we all do, right? As landlords, you got to adapt to what's out there. So my team are constantly banging on at me. You know, you got to try this. You got to do a bit of this. You got to do a bit of TikTok and Facebook and Clubhouse, and you know, and being honest with you, these are all new things to me. But we are testing them, you know, Clubhouse is one of them. But in the broader spectrum, social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you know, all of these serve a purpose, and Clubhouse is a part of it. You know, each one of these has their own use. I don't know what Ed's views are on that, in terms of...
Yeah, no, I certainly agree. Good evening all. Yeah, sorry, my name's Edward Sloan, or Ed, it's probably best, Ed Sloan. So I'm the director of a company called iTools Pro. We're a 360 virtual viewings platform, which enables property professionals to affordably upload, shoot, create, publish 360 virtual tours of their properties. So in our business, we're a supplier to property. And exactly what Cam was saying there, obviously you need to sort of find new approaches and new ways to reach your market audience. So it was actually myself that pushed to get onto Clubhouse. Obviously at the time, I think we jumped on in about February. So at that particular time, you needed to be invited in, and it was only available for iPhone as well. I think this week, Cam can probably correct me, I'm sure in thinking that it's now opened up and you don't even need to be invited now, you can just join. I think that's the case. I don't know if you can sort of agree with that, Cam.
Yeah, six days ago, Ed.
6 days ago.
Yeah, so it had that air of exclusivity before, but now absolutely anyone can get.
Right, fantastic. So anyone could just jump on there now. So this webinar tonight is probably a timely piece. So yeah, so we jumped onto Clubhouse back in February, not really knowing what we were getting involved in or what we were getting into. And one of the largest topics, or one of the largest interests on Clubhouse is real estate. So obviously we found ourselves within a new market audience because we were speaking beforehand to estate agents and letting agents, sort of the higher end with property portfolios, property listings. But we found ourselves obviously surrounded by landlords with smaller portfolios, smaller listings, which we still feel that our product services perfectly to because of the affordability. but it was just great to sort of gauge the knowledge and the information and the thought process behind how property professionals at that level sort of work and operate. But we found it a really useful tool to get involved in. I can't say any more praise about Clubhouse, the way it's helped our business.
But are all the groups the same, or do you need to be careful in which groups or which things you can go into? Because you can go to any of them. There's hundreds of them. So how do you know the good ones from the bad ones, or if there are bad ones?
I mean, again, the great thing about Clubhouse, I mean, to be honest, I'll be honest with you, perfectly honest with you, Instagram wasn't a thing that we sort of did. We actually developed the Instagram after the Clubhouse. That sort of seemed the process that we went down. But with Clubhouse, there isn't any pictures, it isn't images, it isn't recordings, it isn't edited. It's just raw, like we are now. So you can't hide behind the fact that it's raw. So it's quite easy to sort of filter through, obviously, pardon the French, the crap, basically. So it is quickly to sort of find out people and who they are and what they're really about. I don't know if you agree with that, Cam.
Yeah, I mean, you're quite right, Edward. Ed, what I like about this is, you know, as you say, it's quite authentic. It's very authentic. And by the way, I know many of us are friends here. For those of you who are joining us and we're meeting for the first time, my name is Cam Devady. I'm the founder of Premier Property. I'm an investor developer, and also I mentor and help people in property as well, because I love doing it.
Question.
Right. The authenticity, people love things where people are authentic, just keeping it real, like we are today here as investors, investors and landlords here. And Clubhouse is one of the platforms that does allow to do that. So Nick, you had something to say there.
Yeah, I did, because one of the members have just not Eric, I've got Eric on the phone. One of the members have just come up and said, could you give a quick explanation what Clubhouse is?
The elephant in the room.
Yeah, the elephant in the room. Yeah, that would be good. Somebody to explain what Clubhouse is.
So
you two are looking at each other.
Yeah. All right, so I'll give you the simple version then, the way I look at it. So what it is, it's a platform where it's brand new and you are getting people that are attracted to a new way of thinking, new way of looking. So people that are sort of creative, they'll jump in and say, what is this? They'll test it out. And the way I look at it is literally just audio, not the visual. So it's having a conversation with someone where you can't see them, but you can hear them. And what Ed said there, it's raw. You can just speak there. People can ask questions, and people can move very quickly in and out. So it's literally audio is the way I look at it.
Yeah, so
we're connecting.
So it's an audio chat, as Cam just said there. So the way it actually works is you go into your own profile, you create a profile of who you are, what you're about, obviously, which creates all the information and details about yourself. And then you actually start to look at the interests that are headed behind, obviously, the profile. So you'll choose your interests that are relevant to yourself. It could be health, well-being. Obviously, it could be business, sports, whatever it may be. But obviously, one of the topics is real estate. So what you obviously then do is start to follow people. There's a good example from Cam. So you'll start to follow people on Clubhouse who you feel that are relevant to yourself, that have got the same sort of interests. And they will start to jump in what are called rooms. So in these rooms, you'll have a stage. So you have two levels inside, obviously, the window on the phone or the device, but you'll have the stage where all the speakers are sat. So they'll all be discussing relevant topics and obviously having a discussion and a chat. And then you actually have the audience. So obviously, if you're in the audience, you can't communicate with the stage or you can't speak. You just basically listen. So the way I started it when I jumped onto it was using it like a podcast, just having it on in the background, basically. So I was listening to all the people on the stage, having discussions and chats. Again, mainly what I was following was the property rooms, obviously listening to the property professionals, obviously discussing all the different strategies. you know, all the different ways to finance, you know, all the different sort of ways to sort of build a property portfolio. So I was getting involved in that. And then obviously it got to a stage where, you know, we sort of want to jump in and ask a few questions, introduce ourselves to who we were. So what you do then is you click on the button, which enables you to put your hand up. And then you can then be invited up onto the stage itself. And then you can start to communicate with obviously the people that are in the room. The best way to experience Clubhouse is to get up and get involved. You'll probably experience that yourself, Nick. You know, you're sat in the audience, you're sort of listening to it as a third party, but as soon as you jump on stage, you're a lot more engaged, you're a lot more focused, and you're getting involved in the chats and the discussions that are going on.
There's also a lot of products, isn't there? If you're looking for a particular product, or you're looking for something, or you're looking for training, there is loads on there. If you're looking for finance, etc., Bridget, it's so vast. That's what I found.
Yeah, exactly. Really, I mean, the amount of information and data and knowledge, obviously, and it's free. You've got, you know, people that have been in the game for 20, 30, 40 years, probably like Cam. You know, he's a mentor, he's a coach. You know, he's probably got a wealth of experience and knowledge behind him, and he'll be happily on, you know, Clubhouse sharing some of that knowledge and some of that wealth, and obviously getting into different strategies, different ideas with like-minded professionals.
Someone's just put down why use Clubhouse over Twitter. Again, that's something that I'm not advertising Clubhouse or Twitter, or I use Facebook. That's my platform. And Ed and Cam were dragging me into Clubhouse, and I really didn't want to go there because I was really nervous. And I was like, whoa, I don't really want to go into this because it was new. But I've been to like 3 or 4 rooms. One of the rooms, you really know if it's a good room or a bad room. Yeah, because you can listen and you think, no, this is not for me. And I left. And I've been to quite a few other rooms, and some like perked my interest. Some I thought, no, I'm not interested, and then moved on. So you really find out very quickly if it's the room for you, or if a particular subject you want to look for. But it's not just about property. There's everything. If you want to, I don't know, history, English, yeah, anything. There are loads and loads of subjects on Clubhouse. Yeah, there's finance, accountancy, solicitors. It just goes on and on and on. You can drown yourself in the damn stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And again, and that can happen. You can get, I mean, obviously during the lockdown period, it was quite addictive. I probably Cam will agree with that.
Well, yeah, it's one of the things, you know, where people finding useful things to do, right? So, you know, what we're doing at Premier is just making it useful. And Nick, who's that? The person that just asked the question, please.
Sorry?
The person that just asked the question about the Twitter and the house.
Anthony, who was it?
It was Helen.
Helen. Yeah, so Helen's quite right, because, you know, we're discussing Clubhouse here, but we really got to think about the broader spectrum. You know, why, as investors, you know, developers, you know, why do we want to be spending time on Clubhouse, and, you know, keeping in mind that there's a wider spectrum. So Clubhouse is very, very new. One of my other preferences alongside Clubhouse is Facebook. I mean, Facebook, you know, we at Premier, we make it very useful, and you can really make it very useful for yourselves. I mean, especially with things like referrals. You know, right now, I don't know how investors are finding it. I don't know the team here, how they're finding new contractors, or, you know, finding products. You know, it's a great way, for example, for Facebook, great way of getting recommendations. So, for example, on one of our developments, literally today, we've ordered a steel where we couldn't get it in fast enough. And where did we find the contact? Well, we found it on Facebook. You know, local group. You know, Clubhouse is another version of this. Local group, you're going in there, and we literally just put a post out saying, you know, we're looking for someone who can actually fabricate this type of steel. We need it quite fast. You know, we've got interest in there, and literally the steel has been ordered today. We're going to get it on Friday for a development that we're doing right now. You know, LNPG. I mean, they've got a lovely community of like-minded investors, as we have here right now. that's Facebook, isn't it? Facebook community.
Yeah. And I've got 8,000 in the group that we run, and MPG's got 8,000 on it. So and again, that takes a lot of time to manage. But I was just asking about Clubhouse and the amount of invitations I'm getting on there. And Anthony said, well, why don't we get 2 people who use it a lot? Because members were asking, oh, Nicky, you in Clubhouse? And I went, no, not really. And of course, I've been dragged into that. And that's why you've got members here looking at it and talking to you two, or me doing talking and asking questions. Yeah. And so can I ask you, how has it benefited you two? What have you got out of Clubhouse?
Well, what I'll go if you want, Cam. So what I've got out of a Clubhouse is, as I said earlier, we initially, with our product and our services, we were looking at sort of estate agents and letting agents with bigger portfolios and bigger listings, obviously for our products and services. You know, we started looking at we jumped onto Clubhouse and we started looking at the numbers, and I think there's something along the lines of around 50,000 estate agents in the UK. Then you start looking at how many landlords there are about 1.2 million landlords. So, and our services perfectly align with landlords in what we do. So, it's opened up a new market for us, an introduction, and introduced us to a whole new market. But not only that, what you've also got to bear in mind is that Clubhouse is international. So we've actually landed now international clients. You'll find that you'll go onto Clubhouse if you're a landlord or an investor. You'll have property professionals that are UK sort of based or sort of orientated from the UK that'll be living in places like Portugal, Spain, and there'll be other areas and other avenues around the world where you can maybe invest and obviously get a great yield or whatever it may be. So it isn't just about with it being in the UK. It's broader as well, but for me, it's opened up a new
avenue.
A new avenue, yeah, and a whole new sort of category for us, obviously with the landlords, because again, it's something that we've now created. We've actually created a landlord package, which is sort of targeted to people with small, or landlords or property professionals with a smaller portfolio. So. Yeah.
And by the way, he's coming on our buying group because of his 3D photography about room letting, and I met him on Clubhouse because I went, oh, quite like that, and we had a conversation. So that's for another time. But I just want to say that we actually met through Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Cam, go on.
I was just going to say, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point there, because one of the great things about moving forward in investing is the networking, isn't it? And Clubhouse is a new way of networking. Now, keeping the conversation honest, this is something we're testing. We don't know yet if it's just a fad, because these fads come and go, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
We've seen them before, but right now it's something that's creating traction, and it's really taking that first mover advantage and jumping onto something and seeing what you can get from it, right? So things that we're testing are things like finding contractors, looking for services, also products. So just reaching out there. Now, being completely honest with you, I wouldn't say we've had great results with that one, but we're testing those things. The platforms, the traditional platforms that have worked really well, I'd come back to Facebook with social media, where we are finding these services, contractors, LMPG, come back to the community. It's a brilliant community. I mean, we've got a Premier Property, we've got a community ourselves at Facebook as well. Clubhouse is a test, and let's see how long it lasts. But while it's here, while people are creating traction, why not jump in? And like you say, you've met on Clubhouse, you're networking, so you never really know what you're going to get, right? So it's worth a punt. Is my view on it. It's something new, so it doesn't cost you anything either. So for our members, if they want to sort of have a little play around with it, jump in. It's worth having a bit of an assessment. That's my view.
Yeah, again, like you say there as well, Cam, what you can do is you can actually just put it on as a podcast in the background. It's not something you need to, you can sort of build up, you can have it on in the car. It's just a great way to keep yourself sort of going through, maybe quiet periods, if you like. So, yes, that's one of my points.
And one of the things is that someone asked a question about is there regular meetings? Yeah, there is. There are people out there that will do it every Wednesday at not just in the evening. They might be start at 12 o'clock and it might go on for an hour and a half, and they will do that every Wednesday. You've got some people out there that do it at 7 o'clock every night. Yes. So yeah, there are people out there. There are people talking of interest about how to let a property, how to make it better, or what kind of yield you can get there. Is absolutely everything. And you've really got to decide if you go into a room that you don't like, or you think, well, no, you've got a button, it says leave quietly. You just leave. You don't suddenly get queried why you've left, because no one really knows you. And then you just leave and you just go into your next room. If you want to search for something, it's very, very useful. Anthony went into a marketing one because he wanted to understand something about a particular product or a particular thing he wanted to do. He came back and went, half of them are not very good. So you've got to test it. Somebody might.
I would agree with that, Nick. I think that what I think it was Ed said earlier on, because it's an international platform, for things like property, that's obviously quite localized. You want to be talking to UK property professionals about UK property. Same with marketing, to be honest, which I thought, that'd be quite interesting, because there's a few things you have to state at the beginning what you're interested in, and then it will generate some rooms for that. And I'll tell you what, every time I went into a marketing room, if I had an American accent of whoever it was, the speaker had an American accent, I would just leave immediately, because it's just not relevant. But what you can do, and this is something that when we first joined, Nick, you can search by emoji. So what a lot of people do is they don't just put UK property, they put property professional, and then they'll put a little union flag in it. So if you search by union flag in property or something like that, then you'll find dozens upon dozens. I mean, there's thousands of people on this. And you can pick and choose. You do have to spend a little bit of time, though, to make it more and more relevant to yourself.
Yeah, you absolutely. Because when me and Anthony first went on it, we went on it and I went, nah, that's not for me. Yeah, and I really did. And then he went, well, have a look. And I went, what do I do? And then a guy rang us and said, well, what you do is you do that, go into that room, this is what you do. And I went, no, I'm not doing it. And then I got an invite, and then Ed rang me and said, oh, we'd like you to come into my room. I went, no. So he kept ringing me. And then I kind of pushed him to side. Oh, I'm not picking that phone message up. Yeah, and I really didn't. I dodged you two like you, Ed, like the plague, because I was not going in. And I actually went in, and it was I had good fun in there. It was really, really good. And we picked up a few members. And the other great thing from an LMPG point of view, we had people in there actually talking about LMPG and saying how good it was. And I was over the moon with that. You go into a clubhouse and into a room that you don't even know anybody, and then say, oh, I'm a member. Oh, I saved a fortune on a kitchen. I did this and I did that. So I was really enthusiastic about it. Once people were saying how good LMPG was, I loved it. I lapped that one up, didn't I? I was there all day long listening to that.
Next day, you made an Instagram account.
Yeah, well, I didn't. Anthony did. Instagram. I'll get involved. I still haven't been on it. I keep getting these pings. I don't know what the heck I'm doing on Instagram. I'm not being funny. I know Facebook. Yeah, I've got to learn Instagram because I'm getting pinged a lot. A lot of people are sending things to me. I don't know what they're sending me. I know about products and boilers and kitchens and paint, etc. What do I know about technology? I'm learning, and it's a learning curve, and it's understanding about going through to Clubhouse what it is. But don't think it's going to solve everything. That's the only platform you need to go on, because there is a lot of crap out there. Yeah.
I mean, my view, Nick, is learning. I used to think it gets to a stage where you know enough, but maybe I'm getting a bit too old. But what I realized is that learning is lifelong. We're all learning. It doesn't matter where you are. So whether you're doing buy-to-lets or developments or whatever, or whether even like we train people, right? there's always an ongoing learning, for all of us. So this, for sure, Clubhouse, the Instagrams and all this kind of stuff is new learning. And yeah, I mean, depends really what you want to do, right? So some people are happy where they are. Some people want that ongoing learning. And I suppose people listening in here right now, watching this, they are those people. They want to do a bit more or do things in a different way. So, Clubhouse is one of those quirky things, I would call it, if you allow me to, where, yeah, you can test things and see how it can work for you. And as you said, you've got some new members. As landlords, some landlords are happy with what they've got. Some of them, they want to do more. Some of our members, they want to increase their portfolios. They might need more funding. So, by sharing information, you attract people because people get to know you and you're being authentic on Clubhouse. There's a number of those types of groups. You might be looking for more projects. So there'll be, groups where you can network with people there. So it's really about fine tuning. And I would say, what's your agenda? How can you positively use it to your advantage, whatever media it is. And, Clubhouse is a new one, isn't it, really? So how can you positively use it? Ed's using it very well with what he's doing there, which is brilliant. But, how can you positively use it? And that they're the avenues that we're looking at. So it's all exploration. Spend a bit of time on it, have a little bit of exploration, and you never know what you're going to get from it, right?
I think that's the best advice that we can give, is really do a little bit of research, go into it, see if it's something you like. Yeah, because I saw a post the other day and it said, is Clubhouse any good? And I thought, what are you looking for? And it didn't actually state anything. And there must have been, I don't know, 60 or 70 posts. And half of them said, no, it's no good. It's absolutely this, it's that. It's about hyped up salespeople trying to flog your stuff. It really isn't any good. And the other people said, I found it really interesting. Really interesting. I found this out. I found this out. So it was a split. And people have asked me. And I thought, well, I haven't got a clue. I really don't understand. I do understand, but I don't understand if it's good for the landlord market. So that's why I've said, as it's our last lock-in series today, was why don't we talk about Clubhouse? And you two are the people that I know that have got me a little bit involved in it. Well, why don't you come and tell the members about it? And I hope I'm not talking too much, because I don't understand it. And when I don't understand something, I talk a lot. So I'll shut up.
I know you don't understand it like you say there, Nick, but just what's been your experience of using Clubhouse?
Yeah, from my personal point of view, we were invited into your room. I've been invited to 2 other rooms, and they said, could you tell us about LMPG? So I went in there and I did an hour talking about LMPG, what it was about, so I personally, an LMPG, found it engaging, because a lot of people were asking questions. The amount of people in the room, I went into one room, there was 80, 90 people in it. And some of them were just learning to become landlord. I would say 2/3 were like wannabe landlords who were learning to get into that marketplace. And I would say the other third was people at landlords. Now, half of those were LMP members, which was really good. So we got a few members from it. So from a selfish point of view, thank you, Ed, for inviting me into that group and allowing me to talk about LMPG. And exactly the same on the other 2. So for me, it's been really positive. And I said to Anthony, we need to do a little bit more homework on this and see if we can set up our own room. And he's gone, I don't believe this, we'll be living on it. The only one thing, the negative, I would say, it can take over your life, because you can end up spending hours and hours on it. Yeah. So that's the negative, I would say. You can spend an awful long time on it, in a nutshell.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. I think you do need to structure your sort of time accordingly, and obviously how it's going to benefit you personally the most.
Yeah.
But I think just from any position, because obviously, like I said, we're a supplier to property. So, but anyone within that sort of a property field, I mean, it's such a huge, vast industry. You know, like I said, with all the, you know, the suppliers, you know, to the actual industry itself. You were talking about getting steels before, you know, sort of contractors and things like that. So, you know, being able to sort of communicate directly to people in an open chat, with no sort of no doors or walls or barriers. You know, it's like one of the things that I found great about it is that you're speaking. I think I said it earlier, but you're speaking to the organ grinder. You know, you're speaking to the person who you need to speak to, which I find, you know, fantastic, because you know you're straight to the individual that you need to be speaking to and communicating with. And we've built up loads of really good relationships that we'll carry forward now, probably for a long, long time. Like me and you, Nick, you know.
Yeah, I would never have met you without Clubhouse. Yeah, so I'm thankful for that, and that's the one benefit I've got out of the Clubhouse. But I don't know if you're not a supplier, or you're not, and you just want to learn stuff, and you're just a landlord. Not just a landlord. I don't mean that condescendingly, but you're a landlord. What benefit you would get out of that? I don't know. You've got to do your own research. But a lot of people are criticising it because they don't understand. When people don't understand something, it's easier to criticize something than find the positiveness now out of it. And I found I was afraid of it, so I kept it at arm's length. The amount of people that tried to invite me into, I went, well, I ain't doing that, because it was taking me out of my comfort zone. And then you dragged me in there kicking and screaming, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it, because I can talk for England. So I do apologise for that. Yeah, on certain subjects, what I know about. And it's like bridging. Paul Hilliard knows 10 times more about bridging. So when we did a post on it, I said, Paul, over to you, mate. I am not talking on that one. And I didn't. Yeah. So it's easy to talk about a subject that you know, and there are some really good people out there. I mean, Rob Moore lives on the damn thing. He must do, because what I heard was he has 100,000 followers.
He's on there 24 hours a day.
Is he?
I don't know how he does it.
No, that's not for me. But if you want to know something, or you like a particular speaker, or like somebody you admire, and they're being successful, it's free. Follow them, and then suddenly go into their rooms, because you will learn things. You will. That's one thing that I got from you. You will definitely learn things, and if you admire anybody, or somebody's doing a talk, you think, oh, I like that person, like to see what they have to say, then you can just log in and follow them and listen to what they have to say. So from a point of view, it is a great networking opportunity. It's like BNI. BNI, some people didn't like it, some people really did like it. And if you work BNI, it can be very profitable to help you advertise your business, as it were. So that's all I would say on it. Cam, what do you think? Do you think I'm right or wrong on that?
You know, I think you're quite right. You got to explore, new avenues, and like you said, you never know what you're going to be getting from it until you explore it. And yeah, I mean, there's so much to learn. One of the reasons I'm on Clubhouse, like you, just keeping it honest, I didn't know much about Clubhouse until my team pointed it out that, you've got to get on Clubhouse. I'm like, well, what is this Clubhouse? And then, we opened some of the rooms, and it's just like you, I can talk for England as well, as you very well know, on our subjects, which is property and developing, and how to do it and all of that. We're very passionate about that, but people love that. They like learning, they like listening to real tips and things like that. So yeah, I've done some of these, it's a new experience, and you never know who you meet, you never know what you pick up in terms of tips, new methods. It's ongoing learning. So yeah, it's a great method in that way, and it's a new fad. And COVID's, as we were discussing earlier, COVID's helped it, because what we're doing.
It's the other thing is like going to a PIN meeting or a PPM meeting, or any of these property meetings. It's just another avenue that we haven't been able to do that, and Clubhouse is really taken off because of that, you can network with other people, and the amount of people that, but you have to network and contact each other through, what do you call it? Not Messenger.
Instagram.
Instagram, that was it. Instagram. I don't even know the bloody name of it, do I? Instagram. Yeah, you have to make contact through Instagram with each other.
Yeah, they have just opened up. They've opened up a new back chat within the Clubhouse app now, so they're developing the app all the time. But yeah, it's been connected to Twitter and Instagram. So this is why we got onto Instagram, because of Clubhouse. So, and a bit like yourself, Nick. So it's a way for people to communicate with you, sort of off audio, sort of like as a direct.
Can I just say one thing? I don't get Twitter. I just do not understand Twitter. Why text somebody when I've got text anyway? Why do you need to use Twitter? Okay, they say you get thousands of followers. I'm not being funny. Who wants to follow me on Twitter?
I'll follow you on Twitter, Nick. It makes you feel any better?
I'm sure many people would.
Oh, rubbish. You must be joking. I am not doing Twitter. Yeah, Roger Lancaster fell off his chair when I said that. He's sitting there grinning at me. I don't get Twitter. I just don't get that. Never mind. So anything else that we can talk about on this?
Well,
David has asked in the chat here, so Android come on stream now that it's opened up. So previously it used to be Apple only. It used to be invite only. Basically, they were doing anything they could to stop new people using the app. But since it's opened up, and Nick can't say anything under 250k, it has opened up for Android as well. So I think if you go to their website, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's Clubhouse.
Yeah, I think you can just go through to the Android store now. And
oh, you can do now.
Yeah, okay. Download it from there.
They're letting absolutely anyone use it these days.
All right, but thank you, gentlemen, for coming on and giving us a little bit of insight. I know I've done a lot of the talking because I really don't know. So just thank you very much for coming on and sharing your experiences on that. And Cam, we know what you do, and if you haven't seen Cam, he's done a webinar with us a couple of weeks ago on developing properties. Yep. You did that, Cam?
Day job, absolutely. That's what, Clubhouse is a vehicle, let's say, a new one, but that's what we do. And also we help people for those people that want help and assistance, learn a bit more, we do a bit of that. I've actually got some videos if anybody would like to watch some of the videos, pick up some tips and things like that. So
yeah, put them on the chat and people can have a look at them then, can't they?
Yeah, that's fine. So I think should come up in there. So yeah, feel free to have a little look at that. And yeah.
So you got Nick doing something there? Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Anthony, what did Nick say?
Nick, what have you said?
Sorry, he said if you would like to how you can get into permitted development at development in 2021, download the 4-part video series and actionable workbooks here. And then he's put a link in there as well. So
yeah, we let you do that. That's good.
Glad he wasn't anything naughty. I got a bit worried there for a moment.
No. And just to give Ed for helping us out tonight, Ed's coming on as a partner and giving us special rates on doing 3D imaging for rented accommodation. Is that right, Ed?
Yeah. So obviously what we do is we've created a platform. Historically, 360 virtual tours of your properties was quite expensive because it was something you outsourced. We do professional outsourced 360 virtual tours. For a property, you can be looking at £300 to £400. We've created a platform which is going to be £10 a month, so it's a game changer. It obviously gives you that flexibility to actually do properties for not just for marketing, but also for sort of inventory purposes, maintenance purposes, occupants purposes. So there's a whole sort of variety of how virtual tours can help your property business. And obviously we are more than happy to sort of offer any support and help moving forward in that as well. So Yeah, it's a great thing. And I think it's something that's just being introduced now where the people are going to be charging £30 for a physical viewing. I don't know if that's been sort of seen anywhere. I've seen it somewhere. So the average person it will cost them £30 for a viewing because of the time wasters and the tire kickers. Virtual tours alleviates all that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, just what,
Are they
to add to what, sorry, go on.
Are they charging the landlord or are they charging the viewer?
The viewer.
Oh, wow.
So the viewer's going to be charged, I think it's £30 per viewing, because I think there's a lot of, like, for example, a viewer may go and see 3 or 4 properties, settle on the second property and not even bother letting the landlord or the letting agent or whoever it is that owns the property that they're sorted. So they turn up to the property. They've got no prospect. So I think it's something that's being introduced where you're going to be charged £30 to go and view a property. But again, if you've got a virtual tour, you just do the one virtual tour, you create the link, and then you can broadcast that link to anyone who you want to via any sort of social media networking, email, text message. And also it gives you the opportunity to promote your property while it's occupied as well.
I mean, we've personally found these very useful. I mean, if there's anything good that's come out of COVID, it's things like this. So the virtual tours where you're kind of vetting your tenants before they actually spend your time or your letting agent's time actually going around the property. So it's a really good vetting exercise. Ed, is that sort of nationally based then? Your platform?
As I say, because of COVID, because of Clubhouse, we're international now. So, but yeah, we're certainly national.
He walked into that one, didn't he? He walked straight into that one. Yeah, right. Yeah. I need to stop you two now. Thank you so much for coming on, because I've got to finish off my 10-15 minutes about our last partners. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. Really appreciate that you did that. And I hope that's helped people to have a look at Clubhouse, or convince people to have a look at Clubhouse or not look at Clubhouse.